morning. Things have taken a turn for the drastically more Christmassy since we last vlogged together. Look at all the snow, you guys. When I went to bed, it was a bit snowy, but not much. And then we woke up to a big old coating of the white stuff. If you remember on a previous vlog, back in the summertime, I took you to Wychwood Park, full of leafy trees, beautiful birds. There was a pond there, and I promised I would take you back in the winter when it snowed because it's extra beautiful. So that's what we're gonna check out. Also in this vlog, I'll be talking about some changes, what's going on with me, and some other stuff. So just stay tuned. It's gonna be a multi-day one because I find that those are they're a bit more fun for me to make and a little less tiring because I don't know how people vlog an entire day, like day in the life. Those get tiring fast. But when you spread it out over a couple days, I feel it's a bit more natural and more fun. It is so quiet in here. All I can hear are my own footsteps. You would think though, outside of this really nice area, that things would get quieter because of the snow, and in fact, no. No, this is Canada, so we expect this every year, and it doesn't even get 10% less busy out there. People are still going to work, driving their cars around, just doing all the things they need to do. I saw tons of school buses passing, so this doesn't really slow us down at all. It's like a postcard everywhere you look. Isn't it hard to believe we are literally in Midtown in the middle of the city? But we are. This is one of the magic things about living in the city. So imagine this, right? You're living in, say, this house here in the middle of a city with millions of people in it, and across from you is this frozen pond. That's your view. I told you guys this neighborhood would not disappoint, and it does not. It is full of such pretty architectural heritage homes. What are we thinking? Do we like? It is across from a tennis court. So here in Wychwood Park, lucky residents have their own pond, and they have their own tennis court, and they have their own kind of quiet one-way street. It's just a circle, basically. I don't know if you can hear me above the traffic noise, but this time of year I always wear my Wellingtons, and I specifically only buy Hunter because they last the longest because of the slush. See what I mean? Look at this. Ugh. That was a 35-minute walk. That was well worth doing. I feel so invigorated now. Back home, time to sit down. So what I wanted to have a quick sit down chat, and I promise I will not drag this out ad infinitum, but I wanted to talk about changes and how I'm changing and how this channel is changing. So in the summer, I had kind of a real reckoning about what we're gonna do here. You know that my past has definitely been very consumed with the hair loss world, with talking about products, with trying products, but that just wasn't feeling right to me. I was losing subscribers despite making more content in that kind of vein, and not everything that I do is going to be geared toward like a popularity contest or anything like that, but you want to make content that resonates with people, or else why are we here? Why am I doing this kind of thing, right? So I decided to roll things up a little bit more because, as you may or may not know, I work as a lifestyle journalist, and I thought, what if I sort of bring in the strands of lifestyle journalism into what I do here, which still could contain elements of like beauty, skincare, all these things are under the umbrella of lifestyle journalism, but this way I can open it up a bit more, maybe talk about my work, maybe show my life, and sort of that's where we are right now, and those are the changes that I think you will have seen. So one big one is that I've sort of moved away from the shorter form content. I've made so much of that. So I know some of you love videos that are like 10 minutes or less, and I'm not saying I'm not gonna have any more of those, but I've made like maybe 300 of those at this point. So I'm right now experimenting with a longer format. These vlogs tend to be anywhere from like 20 to 40 minutes long right now. And so that's what we're doing right now anyway. So that is one major change that you'll see here on the channel. The other major change is not that I'm moving away from strictly hair content, but rather I'm including that a little bit when it feels natural to do so, but also widening things up, sort of looking through the lens of my life as a freelance writer and lifestyle journalist. And so that means I'll take you with me to events. I'll talk about sort of news. I'll also talk a lot, and you have heard me talk about this, about my online publication, which is called Helen Avery. And it's kind of like an online lifestyle magazine. So if you enjoy the content that is here, I think that you're also gonna enjoy my online newsletter. And so it is like a mailing list. So go ahead, it's free, sign up for that. It is helenavery.substack.com. For example, what's coming out right about now will be my December roundup of really good things. And so that's always fun for me to put together for you guys, where I put a whole bunch of stuff that I love together, and you just, zoop, you get it into your email, and hopefully you read it and enjoy it. And it is free, but you can support me there in a Patreon style if you wish to do so, which of course would be really helpful. This stuff is all work, right? These are jobs. This YouTubing is a job, you know, it's a hobby / job. And the online publication is a job. So if you feel like supporting me there, feel free. It is $50 for the year, which is probably the easiest. You will get a reminder at the end of the year to re-up if you want to do that, but you don't have to, of course. And then there's also like the $5 a month option too. Both are helpful. I mean, whatever you can spare will be greatly appreciated by me if you enjoy my online publication, but go ahead and check it out free first. So the other thing I'm trying to tie in together is what I sort of vlog, what I make videos about here with sort of what I write about on my online publication, Helen Avery, so that they're kind of working together, because I've always had this sort of break in my content where I had this sort of YouTube life, which was the Shrimpy Magee channel where we talk about hair loss and trying out all kinds of products. And then I had my sort of professional life, which was working for clients and writing. And I kind of kept them quite separate from each other. And maybe that was the right way to go. I mean, you know, I certainly have built an audience over 5 years like that, but it just wasn't working for me. And so right now I'm at a much better place in terms of feeling that at least the content that I make really serves the work that I also do. And they both work with my career, which is important to me, so that this is not just a hobby that's such a standalone thing that has nothing to do with my other stuff, but rather that I've sort of dovetailed them together. And yeah, that's what we'll be doing for the next while. So hopefully you keep on enjoying this. I don't think I mentioned that I hit 15,000 subscribers. So that was a really big milestone for me. You know, I still am a smaller niche YouTube content creator. I'm honored to be able to do that. That is a lot of people. 15,000 people would fill up a stadium of some sort, you know? So I feel lucky that you let me into your lives, but I will be completely honest, YouTubing is not easy. You put yourself out there for people, and it's really hard when you return and you see that people are not interested in the things you're making, or it becomes very transactional. They only want to watch something, they want to ask you a question, they want to pump info out of you, and then you never hear or you never see them return again, and that's fine. I mean, that is the nature of the internet. But it can take a toll. And so, you know, I've been doing this, 5 years now. So it feels really good to also make things, is what I'm trying to say. The point is not just like, oh, poor me, because nobody's forcing me to make these videos. But it feels great now to sort of bring you into my life, bring these things together, and hopefully this is a fresh start here on the channel. You know, I've got lots of vlogs already made because I've been experimenting since the summer with them, and people love them. And I guess if people hate them, they don't say that they hate them. So I guess that's good. So anyhow, I'll stop blathering on. We have lots more to see and do. Just stick around. I finally figured out footwear, and the max cozy thing, the max coziness comes from cabin socks paired with moccasins. I live in an old Edwardian house with like crackly floors and some really cool original features. For instance, this stained glass window over here. And behind me, this is an original wood burning fireplace that still works. The downside though is that this house is drafty and my feet are always cold, but this combo, cabin socks plus moccasins, chef's kiss, my feet are finally not freezing. I'm sure you've noticed that despite this being the Christmas season, you don't see any Christmas decorations yet in my home, and that's just because I'm filming a little bit ahead of schedule here. That beep was my Instant Pot making rice for us. It's coming, we just haven't got them yet, including a real Christmas tree. Got some groceries delivered, and that'll probably last me, I don't know, 2 days. So here are all my groceries unloaded. Do you guys like looking at groceries as much as I do? That's the sparkling water, meat, bacon, but mostly chicken, hummus, pita, rye bread, ham, refried beans, butter, a bit of broccoli. You'll see not much vegetables here. I'm actually getting a big delivery of organic fruit and vegetables that's separate. That's actually coming later on today, but as you can see, the weather was just not making me feel like I wanted to go out and go to the grocery store, so I just ordered it. I've actually been ordering my groceries for years now. I did take a break for a while, but every now and again, it's just nice to have them delivered right to your porch. A cold day calls for some warm baked goods, and I'm gonna be making oatmeal chocolate chip loaf. Sorry, oatmeal chocolate chip bread. I've had this recipe. This is my collection of printouts. Well worn, as you can see, and this recipe, if you want to make it as well, comes from togethersfamily.com, or you can just Google oatmeal chocolate chip quick bread, and this one should come up, and it is a good one. So my favorite chocolate chips are the mini ones that Hershey's makes because they're so small, and the way that I sort of make this recipe my own is I always add these chocolate chips right to the top. I put an extra little sprinkling there, and some more oats on top as well, and then I pop it in the oven as directed. 45 minutes later, here we have it. Oh, it looks good. I can't wait for it to cool down just enough for me to have a little slice. There we are. Fruits and vegetables have arrived, so we don't die of scurvy. Yay! Good morning. It is now Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday. I don't think I remembered to mention that. I am out for a walk because I'm going to the post office bright and early, and I'm in my most flamboyant coat yet. I thought it could be fun a bit later on for us to have a look at the different coats and like how to dress for winter and how to layer up. I thought that that might be kind of fun because we haven't done clothes in such a very long time on my channel, so we will do that. But in the meantime, I'll just try not to fall down on all the ice that is out here. So I don't know if you caught that, but the post office is actually inside of our local drugstore. Pulled out some accessories, including some bags that I will style up with these jackets and different scarves. This is a really big blanket scarf, this one here, made out of pure wool. This is a silk scarf from my mother-in-law, a little hat. We're gonna go lighter jackets to warmest jackets. So I'm gonna show you how I style this one up when it's cold weather. And this is the very lightest, like a raincoat kind of jacket from Haan. This is the Barber you've seen me wear and talk about lots here with the corduroy collar. This one you can wear in colder weather too if you layer it up right. This you saw me outside in, and this is a Zara jacket that is actually a ripoff, I believe, of a Prada style. It's fake fur, obviously. And then this is my parka, just an inexpensive parka by Only. This is a faux fur. So I am wearing just an all black outfit, black turtleneck, black dress pants, and black riding boots. And I don't know if you know this, Canadians do not wear their shoes inside of the house. We always take our shoes off. That's how you know you're in a Canadian home. And you saw the slush out there, so hopefully that explains why. You can figure that one out yourselves. But without any further, let's put on these different outfits. I'm gonna start off, as I often do, with this amazing wool scarf. This is from a Canadian company called Aritzia. I believe you can order online. They may even have, I believe they do have stores in the US. This is their huge blanket scarf. Look how big this is. I've had this now 7 years. This is the best piece in my winter wardrobe. It is so versatile. What I like to do 9 times out of 10 is, I can't really wrap this. It's just way too much fabric to go around like a regular scarf. But I like to do the whole cardigan drape with this. So I fold it in half to like a triangle. And I think you've even seen me in videos in this. And I just wear it like this. I do this just around the house even. But what it's really great at, and this is a great tip if you don't want to have like the heaviest of heavy winter coats, say you're just like traveling somewhere and you don't want to like necessarily invest in a parka, you can take a sort of lighter weight, like if you have a milder winter, you can take that coat, if you layer this underneath, it may be warm enough if you get a good blanket scarf. These are called blanket scarves. Make sure that you get wool or a natural fiber. Don't cheap out and get like polyester. The effect is not the same. Wool is very, very insulating. So this jacket is about as light as it can be. This is almost a windbreaker sort of material, but it is meant to be water resistant. And so I can wear this in December easily if I have this underneath, because it will be warm enough. You might not believe that, but it actually will be, because this layer is just so insulating. So in that case, I would just wear it like this. You know, it's great for if you're going to the mall and you're gonna be hot anyway, you don't wanna bring a heavy jacket. So I like it plenty like this. And of course, you know, you just button it all up if you want to be extra warm, the whole thing. And what purse did I pick to go out with this? Let's see. I thought this could pair nicely with this Coach bag that I have. That is thrifted. So you can see it's got the older Coach logo, which I think is really cute with the actual carriage that you can see really well. And I paid, I think, $8 for this. Not last summer, but the summer before. I just think the brassy tones go really well. If it is blustery and you're not quite ready for a hat, then of course, the old scarf over the hair. I think you would be amazed with just how warm natural fibers are. This is silk, 100% silk, and you can wear it underneath to sort of keep the chill out of your neck, because when you come from a cold climate, you know keeping the chill off of your neck and your head is like most of the game. So if you can keep this warm, you can actually get away with more layers and you don't need the heaviest of the heavy parkas necessarily. So I'm gonna pair it with this pink, what we call a toque here, which is also called a beanie. So I'm gonna pair it up with that and get my barber coat. Nothing is stranger to me than walking around the house with my boots on. I did wipe them down underneath because it feels weird to be wearing my outside shoes and like dirtying my floors with that. But anyway, okay, so I would wear it like this for a chillier day, and I thought I would pair this outfit with my Louis Vuitton Speedy that my husband bought for me when I turned 29. I still have it, I still love it. And this would do an adequate job I'd say if it's above freezing, this would do a very adequate job. When it gets below freezing, you need to sort of layer up or go for the much warmer jackets. So here we are. I have to wear a hat. I feel completely naked in the winter without one, and I don't like, because I don't have as much hair as I used to, I don't like the sensation of cold air hitting my scalp. So there's that as well. So this purse, or this is a Chloe that I have, also from, actually I got this from Poshmark. I think maybe this one actually goes a little bit better being that it's black. I really do love this scarf so much. It is a square, and whenever people buy me scarves, I'm always like, I like the square sizes better. I don't like the long rectangles. I just love to make these into triangles. I just feel they're more versatile and less like lengthy and more chunky. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I just like the proportions of a square scarf. This one comes from Magee's in Donegal Town, Ireland. So if you've ever been to Donegal Town, you've seen the sort of main department store, I guess you would call it there, and that's where this one comes from, and I love it. It's one of my treasured pieces of my wardrobe. This is the most flamboyant coat in my entire wardrobe, of course. It is a faux fur that is a kind of a take on a Prada, which of course was a much nicer coat than this one, but it is surprisingly warm even though it is a faux fur. I'll step back to give you the full look. It is definitely one of those coats though, you get a lot of looks, so you have to be prepared for a bit of attention. Like if you go to the mall, you'll definitely get people comment on it and stuff like that. And so I always say if you're in Toronto and people comment on something, they must really like it or find it extraordinary in some way, for better or worse, because we tend to be a kind of reserved bunch, especially out in public. So I paired this with my air quotes Chanel classic flap bag, caviar finish. And if it were cold and I was in the mood, as you saw, I would pair it with this beanie. This doesn't go that well with it, but I kind of like the contrast, or just none at all, because this is a bit of a, it's a bit of a fancier moment when you wear this, right? Or not, that never stops me from walking down the street in this particular coat. So let's have a look. What's cool about this air quotes Chanel bag is that you can also make it longer by just dropping one of the straps. You can even make it crossbody if you want. If you want to get a bag like this, my video on this bag, I made one, is not up anymore, which is a whole other story for another day, but email me and I can give you the instructions on how to get in touch with Frank Yang, the person that I purchased this, or sorry, I didn't purchase it, the person that sent me this bag. So helloshrimpy@gmail.com, and I can forward you the information if that's what you want to do. It's just not something that I can put online anymore, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I think that this is maybe my favorite look. I do like bright colors. So here I am in a pom-pom hat that really squeezes my forehead, but actually otherwise I think is quite cute. You're probably wondering, can you wear a pom-pom hat if you're over a certain age? I'm a strong believer that you can. I think it's just a classic, but it is a more casual look. So it is definitely for your sort of walking the dog kind of days. It's not something that you would wear to a nice evening out at the opera or something like that. Obviously, pairs great with a parka. I see women of all ages, you know, from little girls to, you know, elderly ladies walking around with pom-pom hats. So do not be afraid if you need one to keep your head warm. Better to be warm. Far and away my least favorite jacket, because it reminds me of deep winter, which is not my favorite time of year, that is for sure, is this parka, which you saw me wearing earlier in the vlog. This is from a brand called Only. It is a few seasons old. Again, something that I purchased secondhand. I try and get most of my stuff secondhand if I can. Another tip is that I buy things new with tags, like these boots. They were brand new, but I bought them from Poshmark, just from someone who I guess bought them. And you know how it is, you buy something and it just sits there and you're like, yeah, I don't like those that much. Well, I got them brand new in the box, and I really like them. So that is one of my hacks for using Poshmark. Another is just to like look for gently, like look carefully at the photos, obviously, and make sure there are no terrible imperfections on it. And you can ask. So just say to somebody, are there any like rips, stains, tears that I need to know that you have disclosed? And they will tell you. And if they don't buy it. It's very simple. So here we are, it's a winter look. I'm gonna pair this with my favorite of all bags, which is my Mulberry bag. Again, I'm not trying to represent Poshmark or anything like that. I just get so much great stuff there. Here it is. I just thought the sort of pink tones in this and the sort of reddish burgundy tones from this could pair nicely together. And yeah, I like these two together. This one has a strap. It's been a while since I've showed you this purse, so let me just show you guys what I can do, because I think it's so cool. You just pull this down here and voila, you have now a clutch if you want to do it that way instead. And this clutch, I think actually, if I were going out to the theater, something like that, I think actually would have paired really nicely with this, because the red and the burgundy will pick up together, and maybe you just don't want a big old sort of handbag hanging off your arm. You want to go something more dainty, you've got this. So it's kind of two purses in one in a way, isn't it? Of course, it's loud garbage day as I'm filming. Well, good afternoon. It's Friday and I'm out for lunch with my friend Jess. We're meeting up at the museum and we're gonna grab something to eat first and have a look at a new exhibition called, I think, Fantastic Beasts, which is based on a J.K. Rowling book and movie, which I have not watched, so she's gonna have to guide me through it. But I thought first we'd take a look around Yorkville. So Yorkville is a sort of, I would say, downtown Toronto neighborhood that used to be extremely bougie, exclusive. People would drive their Ferraris and Lamborghinis and park them here, and it has declined a bit from that heyday, but it's still really kind of nice. Poking around here. The Christmas decorations are not up yet, but I think they're coming soon. Walking through this little laneway. I think it is really cute, and there's all these cute little shops in here, and it has this slightly European feel, which you cannot say about really the most of the city. This stuff looks like Balenciaga. Oh yeah, it is. Gonna exit the laneway now and keep walking around in Yorkville. Let's look at the beautiful buildings. Here's some really luxurious shopping that this area is super well known for, but also wanted to have a look at some of the architecture. This is a newer building, the Balenciaga one, but here are some historic homes. And then I took a bit of a break to have a look at these wonderful murals. I just stopped in my tracks, had a really nice look at them. I'm recording this as a voiceover. That's why everything's in the past tense mixed with the present tense, so forgive me, but I couldn't help but have a look at this. I love how you have these sort of up and down levels I love the red brick. There's a Caudalie, there's a Le Labo here. There's like, I didn't even know these were here, so it's fun for me to discover these things as well. These are Victorian style homes. You can tell they're a bit more ornate on the exteriors. And this is a little mall that we're gonna pop into, very bougie, Teatro Verde, which is a lifestyle houseware store. Look at this cute, this dog made me laugh. And all the Christmas decorations are super on point here. Definitely worth stopping in if you come to this neighborhood and you're a tourist in Toronto. We're going to continue on in this mall that they've really refurbished. It looks really, really nice now. And take a walk through, have another look at this Christmas tree. There's a food court, fancy car. And I'm going to exit because we're very near the museum where you exit. So I'm not going to go into the museum just at this very second because I still have a little bit of time to kill. And my friend Jess is coming via subway. So we're going to... Here's a look at the museum, actually. There's the cube this was very controversial when they made this crystal. It was supposed to be all glass, but they backed down on that, probably because all glass is not the best mix with priceless artifacts. Okay, we're gonna walk on Philosopher's Walk here together. This is where University of Toronto and Royal Ontario Museum are right next to each other. So there's this like walkway between them and it is very beautiful. And we're on the back end of U of T, which is the university I attended. We're at the back end of the campus here. So there's a real mix of buildings. There's a lot of brutalist architecture, which is sort of 60s era, which was a real heyday for Toronto. We had a lot of things built in the 1960s. Mixed in, you'll see, with sort of much older, almost Gothic looking architecture. Fantastic Beasts, the Wonder of Nature. This is a newish exhibition here at the Royal Ontario Museum, and I don't know why there was nothing in those little cabinets, but it was spooky. Here's a dinosaur named after Hogwarts, which I thought was kind of cool, and we just took our time meandering around this exhibition, and Jess patiently explained all of these magical, mystical creatures to me and the whole sort of storyline behind the J.K. Rowling book and the movies. Here's a Canadian lynx, not sure exactly why that was there. You spray musk and this crazy looking creature comes at you. Of course, these are all just fantastic imaginary creatures from the series, so if you're into this, forgive me, I'm not getting any of the names right because I don't know them, but I did have a lot of fun. So you spray it and this animated dude comes at you. Okay, coming. This is a platypus-like creature, and again, someone is screaming and banging on the keyboard right now because I don't know the name of any of these. I apologize to you hardcore fans. This was so cute though. You press a button and the creature comes to grab these glittery things, and I feel like I know this life. When I see glittery diamonds, I want to grab them as well. So yeah, I get this. This is from the movie. I feel ridiculous even saying that, of course, not having seen the movie, but I am inspired. Okay, that was the gift shop. What a lot of fun. We had a really nice time, and now it is time for me to head back.
Artscape, Wychwood Barns. Next stop.
It was a really wonderful afternoon at the museum with my friend. It's really nice to take a Friday off. I haven't been able to do that in a little while, but I really do enjoy meeting up with a friend. It was nice to be able to have lunch, and then after we went to see the Fantastic Beasts exhibition, we went to have a little gander around the rest of the museum. We didn't get all of it in, but we had a lot of fun looking at some other spots and spaces and exhibits. And then it was time to come home, and I made myself a nice warming cup of tea. Much needed because it is blustery out there, so my hands are still cold, just trying to warm them up. I'm in my cozies and I'm ready to sign off for the night. What I'm gonna do is leave up the video that I was telling you about where I show you Wychwood Park in the summer. So maybe you've seen this, you might wanna have a look at that neighborhood again. You can go through it again, or maybe you're new here and you haven't seen that vlog at all, but I definitely would suggest to check it out because you'll see the same neighborhood just in the fullness of summer, which is kind of cool to look at. All right, until the next one, thanks for watching.